Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's May 1st, 2018. I'm outside in the kitchen garden out near the permanent raised beds behind me. This bed I just got uncovered and I just started transplanting some strawberry plants in here. Last season, after the eggplants were taken out, decided we'll go ahead and make a replica of that strawberry bed over there since we got so many extra strawberry plants last year and they really were prolific. We got them late in the season after strawberry season. I put them in the end of June, worst time of year to do it, but they did very well. So I'm going to take a lot of take advantage of all the extra strawberry plants that came up in it along the margins, right along the block wall on the sides there. So I'm going to be taking those up now. I'm going to take them up with some of the soil so that there's less of a slowing of the plants doing well. When I got this bed ready last season, I'll turn the camera around. So when I got this bed ready last season, I put a crown in it, as you can see, and I thought I'd put 3 lines in, and you can see I'm starting to put some of the strawberries in here right along. So I laid down the drip irrigation after putting the compost in here last year, had it tarped all winter, and throughout March and April, which were very, very cold, terrible, I had the drip irrigation already laid down. I'll show later on how I hook up some of the drip irrigation around here. But for right now, I'm using the drip irrigation because I decided I have 3 rows of strawberries, and they'll of course send out runners and create even more strawberry plants so that I can actually propagate more and get them up into another bed, get them out of these permanent raised beds in the future, potentially, anyways. So I thought I'd show you how I'm doing this process. So let's see what we can do. So I'm using this simple little, I think it says Steelton Tools, little blue handled blade. It's got 2 edges on it. One that's non-serrated, it's not very sharp at all, but it cuts soil very well. Serrated on this side, not very sharp, you're not going to cut yourself with it. It's really good for cutting through roots and all. And it's got a concave surface to it, so that it has an indentation in the center so it can work its way around roots and materials. And it has a spot where you can take some plants and actually put them in and plant them with it. But what I'm doing right now is first I clear off the area where I'm going to do it, and there's a cluster right here. I'll make a couple cuts through the soil, go underneath it, grab a hold of that clump of soil, bring it up, carry a pair of scissors with me, nip that off, and I've got several strawberries in here. Now what I'll do is, typically you'd cut these out and separate them all, but in the interest of trying to make this as efficient as possible, I'm just going to put them in just in the cluster the way that they are right now. I'm about 3 inches from the wall, trying to find a spot that I'm not going to go through too many here. And I just give it a little pickup like this, bring that cluster right up. And this way I don't have to worry about the depth of the strawberry. Typically right here is where the little crown is, where the roots extend out from this point. I'm not sure if that's showing up very well. We only want the soil to go right to here, but since I have the soil attached, and there's, I don't know if you can appreciate it, but there's thousands of little rootlets sticking out there, this has a pretty good chance of doing well. Typically when you buy them at the store, they'll look like this, and you just have to make sure that you don't bury them too deep and you bury them just deep enough. So when you're buying them in the store or buying them online, the plant needs to be buried right to this depth. And you can see there'll always be one of these little runners that came from another plant. The little plant started here and then sent its roots down. So you want to get it buried right up to that point. And it's ideal if you can actually separate those rootlets out some. But if you bury it too deep, the crown of the roots will start to decompose. If you bury it too shallow, well, then the roots will start to dry out and the plant will lose viability. And I typically, when I'm preparing beds, I should say this, usually I'll go through and broad fork the bed. Then after I get done broad forking the bed, then I'll go ahead and run the tilther over it. And you'll see me do that in other videos, and I've done it in the past in other videos. And the reason for doing that is to really loosen up the bed. But what ends up happening is, if you're doing that when you're doing some of these perennials, the soil will gradually compact down over time, and some of the roots may end up being exposed. So I actually like not really disturbing the bed after it's laid over the winter time. And you could see just how easy it is for me to plant these. I'll grab another one and show you. This tool with this little concave surface, if you cut it just right, and here's what one of the strawberries look like when it sends out a runner. It's only sent down like one taproot and one side root so far. I don't know if you could see this one here. And I'll be careful try and get that one in the soil as well. But all the rest of these, there's 3 good plants here that have quite a bit of root structure. So I'll just take my fingers and make a hole that's about the size of this unit here. And that's it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's going to be up to, I think, 71 degrees today. Oh, dang it. And we have a nice breeze. It's not as windy as it often is. And if I were to plant these, like these are some of the ones that didn't make it into the soil last year. Well, that one's could come back potentially. But as long as if there's one of the strawberries still has a side runner on it that really doesn't have much of developed roots, something like this, and it doesn't have the runner on it, that mother plant, as long as it's treated healthy, it's getting the nutrients and the water supply that it needs, and the soil doesn't get dried out because of the dry air and wind coming by now, then that small little runner will take off and put more roots down. And that's why I try not to disturb this, because there are some extra runners in here as well. So here's one just like you'd buy in the store. This one doesn't have as good a chance as the rest, but I'll just put my finger down in there. And I'll hold this up. You can see the level. Timmy's here to help, of course. See the level at which I bury that. Just to that crown. Let's go in, handsome. Nice clump of strawberries. Strawberry plant. Okay, I'm back. Well, I was able to get the 3 rows of strawberry plants transplanted into this raised bed, and I'll turn around and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I put them in right alongside the drip edge, and the planting went very well. The soil surrounding the roots from the other raised bed brought it in here, and it all worked out well. And then I just done watering them, since this soil was predominantly dry because it's been covered all winter, so it didn't get the benefit of all of the rain that we've been having these last couple of months. So we'll come over here and see. So you can see I sculpted out all around the margins of this raised bed and got quite a bit of the plants out from the edges. Now, hopefully tomorrow I'll get over here and bring some of the fresh compost in, put it right along the margins, and get the roots that are exposed covered up, and then get this one watered. this could easily have supplied at least one more of those raised beds with 3 rows. I think that would have worked out and paid possibly a few extra. And we'll see how things work out this season. I got an awful lot on my agenda or plate. I'd like to remove these totes here and put in another permanent raised bed down the center here, and potentially, excuse me, remove this one as well. These boards have hit, I think this is their last season, and actually put a narrow permanent raised bed here as well. Like these ones, these block beds are the ones that I'm talking about. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll get at this rain gutter garden, uncover this and get some of our salad greens and all transplanted into here and get this started up. Well, that's it for today's video, folks. I hope this was of some value. Just wanted to show you how I do the transplanting of the strawberry plants during the springtime. Those ones that sent out runners last year, and taking those and making good plants for this coming year. If you found this of value, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when I post a video. They're going to be a little bit hit or miss for a while. I'm just a little bit behind trying to catch up, and I still have some more repairs to do, which I'm sure you folks don't want to see videos on that. So I really appreciate you sticking to the end of these videos and staying subscribed. Please ask questions and leave comments. Thanks so much, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.